So Gemini has this untapped feature called Gems that completely changes the way that you use Gemini. Instead of just getting generic responses, you can create these custom AI assistants for different areas of your life. A lot of people have used Gems in Gemini, but they aren't using them to their full potential and power. So today I'm going to show you 7 mind-blowing use cases for Gemini Gems. To understand the power of Gems, let's open up a normal chat here on Gemini and we'll send it a prompt. I'm going to use the voice dictation button to ask Gemini to create an infographic for me all about how to use Google Gemini. If we send that along, you'll see that it produces a pretty good infographic, but this isn't on brand for my company. It's just this generic looking image, which is great, but it's not usable if I want to actually use it inside my business. Let's contrast that with using the same prompt inside one of my gems. I have a gem over here on the left called On Brand Infographics. Opening up this, let's send it the same prompt. Create an infographic for me about how to use Google Gemini. Sending that one along, you could see that it produces a much different result. This one is actually on brand for my business. So this is your first use case. Creating on-brand infographics, slides, and videos using Google Gems. If you've never set up a Google Gem before, let me show you how to do this. You can come over here on the left where it says Gems and click on that. Now, once on this page, you may see these gems made by labs up here at the top. We are going to skip those and come down to the bottom here where it says Gem Manager and click on New Gem. There are 2 fields up here at the top called name and description. These are only for your purposes. They don't actually affect how the gem works, so you can put in here whatever you want. So for this one, I will call this brand guide, and under the description, brand guide for infographics. Inside the instructions, you want to put something like use this brand guide when creating the infographic. And then underneath that, you want to paste in your brand guide, things like the colors you use, the fonts you use, and the overall style. Now, if you're struggling with that, I have a quick tip for you. Let's say you already have an image that you've used for your brand, or you found an image online that you really like the style of. Make sure to download it to your computer and then come over to Gemini. Click this button that says Add Files and upload that image using the Upload Files button. Then enter in this prompt. Create for me a prompt I can use to recreate this style. I'm not talking about the details of the image, just the style, like the colors, the layout, the font, and the overall feel. I want a text response that has the prompt. Do not create an image. And then submitting that along, it will actually analyze this image and pull from it the style and create a prompt for you. And by the way, I'll have a link down below where you can grab all the prompts I use in this video. Once you get your response, scroll down, click this button that will copy the entire response. Come back to the gem and paste it in underneath here. And now you have a brand guideline built into this gem. One final thing, we have an option here to turn on default tools. Since I will only be using this to create infographics, I'm going to select under default tool, create images. That way I don't have to tell it to create an image. It's going to automatically do it. Now click on the top right here where it says save. We can close this window out. To use this at any time, you may see it over here on the left under Gems. But if you have too many listed, you can click on Gems, just scroll down to the one that you just made. And now if you chat with this and tell it to make anything for you, it's going to use the exact style that you put into the instructions. And by default, it has images turned on as well. So now you never have to repeat those instructions ever again. And every single time you can get on-brand infographics. The next gem I want to show you is a customer support knowledge assistant, or as I like to call it, my email executor. By activating this, I can copy down any emails that I've received, paste them in here, and get an on-brand response that uses information from my company's FAQs, product documents, and support material. All of that's inside my gem. So this is a gem right here. As you can see, this description tells it to just reply with a response of the body of the message. I don't want a subject line. I don't want any sort of intro or outro about what the AI did. All that's really important because otherwise it kind of clutters up the entire response. And in addition to that, under default tools, I have turned on Canvas. Now down here, we have the knowledge base. I decided to upload these files from Google Drive. So if I need to make any changes, I don't need to upload new documents. I could just make the changes to the documents inside of Google Drive, and they'll update inside the gem automatically. So this has been such a time saver for answering those common questions that you know there's an answer for inside your knowledge base. Instead of having to search for it yourself, just copy, paste it into a chat with the gem. You get a response, maybe you have to change it up a little bit to make it more personal, but then just send it off to the customer. Easy, done quickly. This next one is a little bit meta, but it's honestly one of the most helpful gems I've ever made. It's a prompt engineer, a gem that helps you write better prompts. So instead of spending time trying to figure out the perfect way to phrase something for your AI, you just come to this gem, tell it generically what you're trying to accomplish, and it's going to create a much more detailed, well-structured prompt that you can use in Gemini or really any other AI tool. And when you use this gem, it gives you three different things. It first gives you a very concise prompt. It also gives you a more detailed one that you can just copy and use. And finally, it asks clarifying questions that can improve the prompt. So here it's asking me what specific breed or color. I'll say orange. Is there an intended art style? I can say oil painting. And third, what should the setting be? I'll say a circus. So it not only asks the questions, but also gives you suggestions as well that you can choose between. And then once again, you will get a concise prompt, a more detailed one, and even more follow-up questions, so you can go back and forth with this until you get the exact prompt that you need. Once you have it, you can copy it down, come over to a new chat, and then use it or use it in any other AI tools that you want. Now, if you want to use this gem for yourself, like I said before, the instructions for it will be in the description down below. Make sure you copy and paste them exactly, because it was actually very difficult to set this gem up. Every time I used it, it would just create the thing for me. Like it would just create the image instead of the prompt for the image. So I finally got it right. It works 100% of the time now. So do make sure you are using these exact instructions. The next gem I want to show you sounds a little bit silly. It's definitely unique, but it is extremely helpful. I call it my Stupidity Checker. The way I use this is after I finish recording one of my YouTube videos and before I upload it, I grab the transcript for it. I just use AI to transcribe it, and then I throw the transcript in here. Submitting this along, it's actually going to analyze that entire transcript for me and fact check it. I want to make sure that I didn't say anything, well, stupid in any of my videos. You can also use this for things like blog posts, emails, articles, or really any type of writing before you send it off or make it public. Here it's telling me that I've made some incorrect statements in the video, there are some language changes that it suggests that I make, and there's some information that's missing that would make the video better. It's just really useful for having a second pair of eyes on the video, and I can't tell you how many times this has saved me from saying something really stupid. This next gem is one that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to AI, but it's actually really useful for your day-to-day life. You can create a wellness gem that supports you for things like meal planning, workouts, or even helping you make decisions around your daily habits. Now, I'm not talking about using this as a replacement for a doctor or a therapist, but for everyday stuff like what recipe can I make based on what's in my fridge to stick to my macros, it's extremely useful because it already knows stuff like your dietary preferences, your fitness level, and your goals. For myself, I created a gem here called Ninja Training. If you guys didn't know this, I do American Ninja Warrior type workouts. And so using this, I've told it to take on the role of an expert American Ninja Warrior who has been on the television show and has helped coach dozens of people who have been on the television show. So anytime I have questions about what type of workout I should do or how to do a certain move, I ask Gemini inside this gem, and it's incredibly helpful. And that's particularly because as the knowledge base, I attach one of my NotebookLM notebooks. I have a notebook here called Ninja Warrior, and I filled this with some of my favorite YouTube videos and articles about how to train for American Ninja Warrior. So all that information is now in this notebook, and that notebook is now linked up with this gem. That way, anytime I chat with this gem, I'm getting useful information from sources that I actually trust. Before we move on to the next Gemini Gem use case, let's hear from today's sponsor, i10x. i10x is an all-in-one platform that gives you access to all the major AI models in one place. You can chat with ChatGPT, with Gemini, with Grok, with Claude, with DeepSeek. There's a bunch of them in here. You can also do things like image generation and video generation as well. And they have an option in here called Agent Builder. This allows you to do the same thing we've been doing with Gems. You can set up these custom agents with their own set of instructions and a custom prompt so that you never have to repeat yourself. But what makes this slightly better than Gemini Gems is that you can choose whatever model you want to power the agent. So again, you can use Gemini ones, or you can use Claude, ZAI, Grok, whatever you want. It also includes some other features like Chat Arena that allows you to choose one AI model on the left, another one on the right, and send one prompt to see which response you like better. And finally, they added this new tool here called automations. These allow you to set up these workflows where actions taken inside of one app can then trigger actions in other apps. i10x starts at just $8 a month if you go with annual billing for the basic plan, or $10 a month if you go month to month. That includes 200 uses of advanced models, 5,000 uses of basic models, and 2,500 credits for things like the reasoning models and image and video generation. But for just $17.50 a month, you get unlimited usage of basic models, unlimited usage of advanced models, and 7,500 credits for reasoning models and image and video generation. If you want to try them out, I'll have a link for it in the description down below, along with a coupon code to get an additional discount. And thank you i10x for sponsoring this video. Next, we are going to switch gears slightly because we are no longer going to be using Gemini Gems inside of Gemini. Instead, we're going to use them in some of the other places that you can access Gemini. So for instance, if you're here inside Google Drive, if you're on one of the paid plans, you can access Gems inside of here as well. So clicking on the top right here where it says Ask Gemini, you can then click on these three lines right here to access the More Options menu. And here you can choose one of your gems and use it to help you craft documents inside of Google Documents. This is particularly helpful when you use this as a bridge between NotebookLM and Google Docs. You see, right now, when you come over to Gemini, you have the option to add in as a source one of your NotebookLM notebooks. But that option doesn't exist inside of Google Docs. But if you create a gem that has one of your notebooks attached, and then you access that gem inside of Google Docs, inside the Gemini over here on the right, then you've essentially bridged the gap between NotebookLM and Google Docs. Gems can also be used inside of Gmail if you have a workspace account. So clicking on Gemini over here, I can select my email executor. So now I can actually have it reply to emails for me without having to switch tabs between Gmail and Gemini. But again, this is only available to workspace subscribers. It is not yet available for regular consumer Gemini accounts. Let's return back to Gemini now. I want to show you the last use case before I show you the bonus ones. And this one is absolutely one of my favorites. Every time I travel now, I create a new gem for the trip that I'm going on. So for instance, I'm going to California in May, so I created a gem for that. And let's say I get in the taxi and the taxi driver says, "What hotel are you going to?" I can just ask my gem, "What hotel am I staying in?" And it will give me the response and the address for it as well. So I can't give you the prompt for this because literally all I do is upload screenshots or printouts from all of my different reservations, like my flights and my hotels. And then in the prompt box or the instructions box, I just say, use this information when actually answering the questions for me. So it's very helpful when you're traveling. It kind of makes you feel like you have some eyes in the sky watching out for you the whole time. Anytime you have questions about your itinerary or where you're going, you can just ask your gem and it's going to give you your answer on the fly. Finally, like I said, I have some bonuses for you as well. If you come over to Gems over here on the left and you scroll down to the gem section right here where it says Gem Manager, notice all of these ones called Pre-Made by Google. Click on Show More to see all of them. These are very helpful. They're very good gems. My favorite one is this one called Brainstormer. I've used this one a lot to brainstorm ideas for different videos, different subject matters I'm interested in, different hobbies. It's a very, very good gem. So definitely explore these pre-made ones. I think you'd be surprised at how good they are. Man, there are just so many good use cases for Gemini Gems. I feel like we've barely scratched the surface of what they can do. And I know that if you're still watching this, you're probably doing some really cool stuff with gems as well. So let me know in the comment section down below how you're using them. And I really mean that. I want to hear from you because a lot of the great ideas that I come up with, I've actually learned from you guys. So leave a comment down below and let me know how you're using gems. I promise I read every single comment myself, and I appreciate every single person that leaves one. So thank you if you do. Then if you want to learn some more about Gemini and how to get the most out of Gemini Canvas, check out this video right here. In this video, I cover 7 mind-blowing ways to use Gemini Canvas, which I consider to be one of the secret weapons of Gemini that most people have no idea even exists. So click right here and I'll see you over in this video in just 1 second. Bye for now.